Hey, Real Housewives of New York fans. We are here to talk with you all about this week's episode. Get ready for some cold.
You're tuning into the destination for TV superfan discussion, AfterBuzz TV. And now, let the buzz begin.
We've all got a little bit of white on. We must have been feeling like the snow in this week's episode of Real Housewives of New York City. We are here talking all about our favorite shows, Season 9, Episode 14, A Slippery Slope. My name is Lyndsey Wegner. You guys can find me on all things social media at Lyndsey Wegner. That's LYNDSEYWEGNER. We are missing Miss Ashley Daniels. She's in Boston with her family for the 4th. But we do have my other two amazing co-hosts. Let's see here who I'm with tonight.
Hey guys, I'm Thomas Orlina. You guys can find me at Thomas Orlina, but this week, in 2 days, I am promoting my very own Your Time with Thomas YouTube series. I'm gonna take you through Los Angeles. We'll talk about really fun things. So make sure to subscribe when you guys are watching. It's Your Time with Thomas.
I've already subscribed, have you? Hey guys, it's Megan Stecher, and you can follow me on social media at Megan Stecher, and that is MEGANSTECHER.
All right, you guys, first impressions of this week's episode. We had a little bit of juiciness at the end, but what else did you think about it?
I think we thought it was a little slow compared to some other weeks.
Mm-hmm.
Can you guys hear me pretty okay? I feel like I can't even hear myself.
I can
Maybe
hear
it's just
you.
my headphones. Okay,
Yeah.
never mind. I feel like we looked at each other and we were like, oh, this is going really slow.
Mm-hmm. I think that like this episode compared to last week's was a little bit, like what Megan said, a little bit slow, but we need those episodes sometimes. I feel like they packed a lot last week for us, but I did enjoy this episode. I thought Bethany showed us a different side to her, something fresh to look at, early on apologizing to Tinsley about her behavior last week, which again wheels in people to be like, okay, she's not that bad. She's not super self-centered or, you know, X amount of names that people like to call her, because she humanized herself this episode. So that's something I saw early on.
She did, but I feel like haters gonna hate.
True.
They're gonna hate on her no matter what she does. She could have done the apology tour to everybody and opened up about what was going on with Jason, and it wouldn't matter. Everyone's still gonna hate on her or hate on whomever it is that's defending her, because that's unfortunately the world that we live in. There's access to all of these things and these ways to tell people what we feel about them, whether it's Instagram, Snapchat, Facebook, and Jason obviously finding ways, showing up at Bryn's school and yelling at Bethany and saying horrible things to her. And we have no idea the extent of what she goes through. But I think that the fact that she kept it so under wraps and really was quiet about it, I was very impressed with that, because how do you not just talk about it? Or,
Right.
I mean, it's on the show. You know, it's going to get brought up at some point. But to just stay as calm as she did, I give her mad props to that.
Definitely.
So we actually start back at the Chalet, and Ramona's making everyone breakfast, but, you know, the eggs aren't as good as, what are they? What is it, a la Francais?
Yes,
Eggs
her.
a la Francais.
And Dorinda's luggage has finally arrived. What did you guys think about Dorinda giving up her room to Sonja and Ramona?
She made it nice. Hashtag she made it nice. I feel like that's the friend I want to have in my life. I feel like all my friends are kind of like that. She is very, she's giving. She's not that friend that's gonna, she knew the situation. I mean, she deserved a nice room for the first time, but I really like that side of Dorinda. She brings out that, you know, just have it, you know.
Mm-hmm.
So I liked it. I was fine with it.
It didn't really matter.
I think Dorinda's a real MVP because she's very likable, but she is a housewife that comes to play.
Yeah.
She does stir things up. She does say things that are polarizing. She does get really, really crazy drunk every season. And it's like, but you can't, there's something so likable and honest and caring about her that you love her and you root for her. And it's one of those caring moments where she was nice enough to give up her room to the Bobbsey twins, who can't bother to be. But I was a couple minutes late because no one would open up a parking spot for me in this neighborhood. How dare they?
How dare
but
they?
I was just wondering what happened with the luggage. Was she just, somebody dropped it off and it was just, like, disappeared?
She just was up really late waiting for the luggage, so there wasn't actually, we didn't even see anything happen with that. She just said it was had finally arrived.
I
You
wonder,
didn't miss anything.
She flirted on it with Andy Cohen last week. She was on Watch What Happens Live, and they kind of alluded to like a little. She alluded to a little production magic that had happened, so maybe that was her storyline.
Well, I wonder if her underwear were in her luggage, and if she packed her MeUndies. Guys, MeUndies are the softest, most comfortable underwear you'll ever wear, and once you try them, you won't want to wear anything else. Well, unless you're naked or in your bathing suit by the pool this summer. For every other moment of your life, there's MeUndies. Every pair of MeUndies is sustainably sourced and made from micromodal. Am I saying that right? Modal. A fabric that's 3 times softer than cotton. Ooh, get that on me. Okay, if you're used to buying packs of uncomfortable, boring underwear that only come in white, gray, black, or tan, MeUndies will change everything. Because MeUndies come in all kinds of colors and patterns, they release a new limited edition pattern each month that always sells out. And this month, it's a rainbow confetti print called Celebrate.
How cute.
Fun.
Super cute.
Like fireworks, I guess, right?
Oh.
Try MeUndies today. Go get the Celebrate pattern before they're all gone at MeUndies.com/buzz, and you'll receive 20% off your first pair. You have to feel for yourself to see why MeUndies has sold over 5 million pairs to date. And if you don't love your first pair of MeUndies, they're free. Yes, I said free. That's how confident they are of this product, guys. So get 20% off your first pair plus free shipping. I don't buy anything unless it's free shipping. So free shipping at MeUndies.com/buzz right now. That's MeUndies.com/buzz. MeUndies.com/buzz. Get 20% off and free shipping on your first
And if you
pair.
don't like it, they're free.
Girl.
Might as well try it.
Don't hurt to try it. Can't lose.
And I know you guys, I saw someone in the chat last week had written that we don't eat Denny's.
Oh.
We
Yes,
all
we
eat
do.
Denny's. Yes, we
they were like, nice acting. I'm like, it's right down the street.
No, we all have
No,
our
I
like
love me some
go-to
Denny's.
meals, like
Yes.
Grand Slam breakfast all the way. I get my eggs poached.
Yes.
I'm the weirdo that gets my eggs poached. When
I
I
saw
go to a restaurant.
their new commercial too with their little app for ordering.
Yeah.
So cute.
Yeah, quick shout out also to Style Collective. Thank you. You know what you did last week. Appreciate that.
Aw.
Thank you, thank you. All right, so we've actually got Bethany apologizing to Tinsley. She said she didn't want to be cold or add on to Tinsley's stress, and she does know what she's going through. Once again, a very humbling moment, a very nice, pace, because we do see Bethany kind of being the one in charge and the one kind of leading the pack and sometimes leading the attack, but this was a nice way for her to relate, because she's been through this too, and to show that softer side of her, which makes her human.
I kind of wasn't expecting that from her, to be honest with you. When she was kind of going in on Tinsley, I was like, oh, like just because she's not in your situation, everybody, like what they said tonight, handles their stuff differently. And I'm glad that even through all the turmoil that's going on with Bethany, she's able to see that. So that's like an everyday thing. Like people don't cope the same way. So that again makes Bethany, the great housewife she is.
And Sonja sits down at the table, and LuAnn mentions that she has yet to apologize for the lunch comment earlier, and from a couple episodes ago where she had made a comment about her and LuAnn and them sleeping with the same man and stuff, and how that makes them better friends than it makes her with Dorinda. And she has yet to apologize, and she says, "Take me as I am. I shouldn't have to apologize to you. I've been on the apologizing train." Do you think that Sonja has been on the apologizing train too much to apologize for this, or do you think she's just being stubborn?
I say stubborn.
I say stubborn.
If you have something to apologize for, just apologize.
Keep the peace. And I think Dorinda is 100% on point when she said if Sonja continues to keep up this kind of attitude about that, LuAnn's not going to be her friend anymore.
Oh yeah,
Right.
that's
If
just how
someone's
it is.
continuing to pick on your husband and your relationship, whatever it is, it's not going to go over well.
Like, find something else to joke about. If it really is her wanting to be funny and relevant and have something to say at the table in front of a group of people, like, find something else to make a joke about, because everybody's over it. In the way that Dorinda and Carole spoke about it at the lodge together. It's like he's her husband now, and I believe we all said this last week too before we watched these two ladies say it tonight. It's like he's her husband now. You got to give it up. You got to give her the respect. She did marry him. He married her. So the jokes have to stop. Now it's a legal situation. It's happened. It's the real deal. So get over it.
Yeah, she's looking a little bit. To be honest, she looks kind of petty. I feel like she's holding on to the past. We've already moved on. If LuAnn was still gonna have this marriage that didn't happen, then fine. We can still continue to joke about it. But the wedding's done. It's been done. So, you know, she's got to worry about her own stuff at this point and let LuAnn just have her little 6-month period, which she has, right? Is it 6 months now? I think it should.
Has it been? No.
Yeah.
Had it been
because it was New
now
Year's.
it's been 6 months.
Yeah, now it's been 6 months.
Now it's been
so.
6 months. It's
and
only
they're
been
still going strong. We haven't seen anything in the tabloids, so I'm sorry, Sonja. We got to move on.
Fingers crossed for you, Lou.
We're going into the 7th month.
So LuAnn goes skiing. She's obviously a great skier. She's been doing this. She lived in Switzerland for a while, so this is normal for her. Bethany loves it as well. Her on her snowboard, I was so impressed. She just looks so natural at it.
Yeah.
I would be falling all
you
over
guys-
the place.
shocked.
I've never snowboarded or skied.
Do you
So I went skiing once in high school on a group trip, and I had no lessons, and I hated it. I just fell on my butt the whole day.
And then you switched.
And then I tried snowboarding this year for the first time, and I did a half-day snowboarding lesson, and I was drenched in sweat. I've never,
good
what a
workout.
workout. It was a really good workout. So that's it. So maybe next year I'll, pick it up as a new hobby.
My sister made sure that, I think it was I'm really crazy with dates, but it was 2007. She's like, I'm gonna teach you how to snowboard, and I've just been doing it since. And it watching Bethany do it, how you feel clarity walking, going down the slope. You're by yourself, really, so you're just your mind. I have my headphones in sometimes, so it's a good workout. You definitely should do it this year for sure.
It's definitely a great workout. It's a total body. Skiing definitely total body, but snowboarding too. It's balance.
I could totally
it's core.
see you doing it.
It'd be fun.
Yeah.
Just never tried it.
Yeah. Bucket list.
And then Dorinda and Carole, they're avoiding skiing. They're hanging out in the ski lodge, gossiping. And then we've got Ramona and Sonja getting technically kind of lessons. Ramona's skied before, so she doesn't really need them, but she says she wants to work on her form and obviously picks the young hunk, Tim, to be her snowboard instructor for the day and to carry her skis for her because she doesn't feel like carrying.
Poor guy, man.
I mean, the things
It just started bad and it just went downhill. It nosedive for me.
When I'm thinking about taking my lesson a few months ago, I would never have thought to drag that person to the lodge with me, ask them to get me a drink. I don't understand how she thinks every single person works for her in many ways. He's not the server.
Yeah. She should know that.
My issue was she's like, he's flirting with me. He's nice. He thinks I'm sweet. And I'm like, he's not. He's getting paid to hang out with you right now.
I loved that Carole was like, he's being paid to be nice to you. And Ramona was so offended. I loved it.
Carole's never going to give Ramona anything that she
It's like the guys that go in the strip club. And they're like, but the stripper likes me. She's being, well, yeah. You tipped her $100. You paid for your lap dance. You're going to get what you paid for. I just felt bad for him because it was really nice to see him connecting with Dorinda about where he's from. How nice to have somebody that you can talk with. And obviously, no, she's not trying to hit on you. And then Ramona jumping in, can you get me a Corona with a lime?
Yeah, no.
I'm actually shocked that Ramona wanted to drink a Corona, right?
I think she was trying to look cool.
You're so right. She's trying to be
Did she
young
ask
and
for a
cool.
Corona Light or just a Corona?
I think she might have asked for a Corona Light.
I'm shocked she didn't ask for a glass of Pinot Grigio or something warm.
That's an old, I don't know. That I think she was going for the beer vibe. Maybe.
Right. She wanted to
Yes.
look cool to the young, hot ski instructor.
Yeah, we're not going to have wine right now after snowboarding.
Except
we want
Tinsley.
to have a beer. Yeah, except for Tinsley, of course. They called her a rude flirt.
Yeah,
by the
a
way.
rude flirt.
Rude flirt.
Well,
Hashtag.
Well, everyone's skiing and snowboarding. Carole and Dorinda are chatting about, they did feel like Tinsley was getting a little bit ganged up on, and she has gotten arrested, so she's going through a lot of stuff. But the real news that we found out was that in page 6 it was posted that Jason, Bethany's ex, had been arrested because he went to Bryn's school and yelled out, what did he say? I will destroy you.
I remember this happening, when it happened and when it hit page 6. So I'm liking that we're getting to see this real time. I'm happy it's being included in this show. Not that it's something Bethany wants to talk about, but it also makes me think of last week when she's like, oh, like Dennis and I broke up. We're just kind of like off and on. We're just kind of like, you know, I'm like, whatever, blah, blah, blah. She's covering up for the fact that like Dennis probably broke it off with her after Jason stalked him too.
Yeah.
You know?
It's kind of frightening. And what, Bryn is 6? You start to remember these visuals, and it's just, I'm sure, was horrifying, and it's very unfortunate, but I'm glad that it's kind of playing out on the show for viewers who don't keep up with trades and social media like that, but it was, it's really
I mean,
bad.
and they, you know, Carole has mentioned that after the settlement, everything's escalated. So it's not gotten better. It keeps getting worse. For some reason, I can't see Bethany bad-mouthing Jason to Bryn. I just don't see it. I see Jason bad-mouthing Bethany to Bryn.
Yeah. Which she is, or people who are connected to her have spoken about in print before.
Which is really sad because at 6 years old, you're 100% impressionable. I remember meeting a little kid at my swimming pool last year at the pool in my building, and he was talking about the relationship between his mom and his dad and how he's like, yeah, my mom's a slut. My sister takes care of me with my dad, and we're not really supposed to be over there and stuff, and she's got a boyfriend that she hooks up with. And I was like, I'm like, how old are you? And he's like, I'm 7. And I'm like, wow, you know a lot of information. I'm
It's
like,
a lot of information.
these are things that they pick up so easily, and they're little sponges, and it made me I felt so bad for him because he's using this language, so it's obviously being used around him. He's around the sister and the boyfriend and then the dad, and I just felt for him. So I feel for Bryn. I feel for the kids in these situations. Avery, when the situation with Mario and, you know, Ramona, because that's hitting her, and she's an adult, so she's hearing all this. That's got to be hard for her too.
Absolutely.
I think that unfortunately we're going to watch Jason implode. I think Bethany's playing this right in that if they need to renegotiate the child, like the parental terms and everything of who gets to spend time with her and when, that she'll have a completely clean slate, and Jason won't have his lawyers won't have anything to use against her in court.
And Carole is going to bat for her as well,
Wow,
saying
time.
a lot of information that nobody knows, and
Without being
shady
about it. And it's really, you're right, she's doing it the right way. I mean, Bethany and her could have had this conversation about
Off
her
camera.
wanting
Right.
to do
Totally.
this, and to kind of, because Bethany can't say it, so have Carole say it, which would be very smart and business savvy of Bethany to do.
Yeah,
You're
it's
right,
so
Thomas.
perfectly described too that I feel like she did send the messenger. But if it's good information, if there's no harm in it, then why not say this information to clear Bethany of any possibilities of that would be the worst, to lose custody of her daughter. I think that's everybody's fear. So good for her.
Well, and we also find out that obviously Bethany has yet to invite Ramona to Mexico yet, but since LuAnn's coming late, maybe they could show up together and only be there for half the trip, so half the trip would be good, and then half the trip could be a wild disaster. We don't know what's going to happen.
Here's why I think we're disappointed in LuAnn, as a side note. She keeps doing all these trips with Tom all the time and is making her real life a priority, and keeps showing up to everything Housewives filming late or not at all, because I was in Palm Beach, or I was in the Hamptons, or whatever. And I think that's why we're getting nothing. And when she shows up, she tries to pull these stunts like, how dare you give me the bedroom base, or the basement bedroom, I need a bridal suite. You know, I think that's why she's disappointing this season.
She is.
But
She's like
she'll come out of it. Like, something will happen with Tom that will get another great LuAnn moment, or something will happen to make her be a little more real. Like, we're just gonna have to wait it out. It's just not her season.
Yeah, and I feel like she's not really offering much. The wedding's done, and now we're just kind of seeing her. She looks like a stand-in too.
Can I not be in a honeymoon blissful mode for 6 months? Can I not enjoy that?
You can. Do you need to like gush about it all the time? You
she
can be
apparently
it and
needs-
feel it without talking about it nonstop.
She apparently needs everyone to
I know what she needs.
She needs the validation.
validate her.
from
Yes,
She
yes,
needs
yes.
and she needs a new song.
Yes.
She needs to write a new
Well,
song.
listen.
Tom, that would be the title of the single.
Well, Andy, and which the last time she was on Watch What Happens Live, Andy said, I really think it should be a song about, like, screw the Countess kind of a thing. Like, let's get rid of the Countess
Okay.
title, screw that. Like the anti-Countess anthem. So maybe we'll get
do
that.
like a duet with Kim Zolciak and make it
Yes.
like a crossover.
I'm so obsessed.
Yeah.
Like, let's have her like show up with the auto tune and clear the furniture out of the clubhouse and do a dance in a little like silver skirt again, like last time.
Those are the best series.
Oh,
Those are the best.
Well, meanwhile, when Bethany is finding all this out about Jason, Ramona is trying to clear the air. Look at Avery's cooked. Avery's cooked. Look at it. Isn't it great? Remember that time you made crab cakes? She really wants that recipe, and Bethany's concentrating on literally what's going on, so she's not even really responding. And
Isn't this the perfect example of the type of person Ramona is? Rather than saying, Avery made this amazing dinner and she loves those crab cakes you made for us. Would you mind sending her the recipe? That's not even what she meant. She meant to be like, look, I'm getting in your face. Talk to me. Be nice. Let's pretend like we're friends again. As long as we keep talking like there's nothing wrong, then all of a sudden nothing will be wrong. No, and the way that she asked was just so rude and annoying. It's like, she would really like if you'd send her that recipe. It's like, no, you say, would you mind having one of your staffers email her that recipe, or could you text it to her or something? She loves that. That's it.
Yeah,
That's how you say it.
She needs to practice a little bit more of how she's going to go through these.
She's the most unself-aware person.
Yeah.
The delusion is just a deep river in that one.
The Ramona coaster went a little crazy. More
She
crazier
was
than
off
ever.
the tracks tonight.
but is Tinsley slightly delusional?
They all are so
She's
delusional.
mixing antidepressants and
Oh, God. Well, this got
liquor
dark
or
for me.
wine and talking about shots and vodka. And Carole goes, rule number 1, you don't mix antidepressants and liquor.
Here's what I was thinking when I saw that scene. I'm really hoping that Bravo and the producers don't take her down this, she has a drinking problem. This is really the beginning.
She brought that up last week and said, I don't have a drinking problem.
This is like Kelly Dodd on The Real Housewives of Orange County, where she started off and then you just start to see her unravel. And with Tinsley, how they were saying that she day drinks and stuff like that. I feel like, I hope we don't see her go that alcohol, you know, like she needs to steer away from all that.
She is just she's in a bad place. I don't agree with her taking that and drinking. Sometimes, I mean, you're also wrapped up in the moment though, and everyone else is drinking, so you don't think it's going to affect you, and you're maybe thinking, oh, I'll just have one, and then I'll have one with dinner, and you're not thinking that even just one can affect you or make it worse, and side effects to medication when you do that are intense.
I'm actually very surprised that her therapist would subscribe her that. If it's the same guy we saw on camera, maybe it's not. Maybe she saw a shrink that would not agree to appear on camera. I'm surprised if it's the same guy we saw that he would prescribe that when she was sitting there telling him, I have to drink to go to sleep. Because
That's a very good point.
I would think that he would say, well, let's try knock it off with the drinking, and let's try holistic ways to get you some stress relief and anxiety relief, and see how your sleeping may, maybe take a melatonin pill, which is an over-the-counter, in the vitamin aisle, basically, type of thing, maybe to make you relax at night. Do some yoga, meditate, whatever. And if it's the same guy, I'd be surprised, because it's not like she's gonna pop a pill and keep drinking, So. But you're right. In the group setting where all they do is drink on these trips, you're not going to stop yourself from drinking unless there's like a really, really great excuse not to. Because that's all these women do. That's what this show is about. Like, the fireworks happen when they drink all day together on these group trips, and it is what it is.
It's sad and it's a little bit scary, and hopefully this isn't a problem. And I agree with you. I hope that this isn't the road they're going to take her down to make it look really bad. I really hope that that's not the case. Also, before we even move on to them being back at the chalet, Ramona with her shoes off in the restaurant.
Oh, those blue toenails.
Okay, I'm just going to leave it at that.
Cotton blue.
I love that they gave 2 really major close-ups.
Yeah, I'm
and
not
they
even
just
see the
showed
way
it.
that her toes are.
And they showed her toes.
Yeah, no, I'm not a feet person, and I don't think most people are, especially in a public place. But all right, back at the chalet, LuAnn lights a fire, almost lights her face on fire.
Jeez.
I'm shocked she still had eyebrows.
I know. I'm surprised she attempted to do that and didn't have somebody do it for her.
Oh, I know. She's pretty handy.
Yeah, I feel like she wants to, and she wants to get in there and do stuff. Maybe not all the time, but this she felt like she could do. Ramona, went out of her way to invite people to come over and cook for them, and Bethany calls her the HBIC, head bitch in charge, and Now, would this bother you guys? This would bother me. I'm just saying it would bother me. Would this bother you if you had invited people over to your place and one of your guests decided that they were going to get people to cook for you? Took it upon themselves to cook for you and not consult with you first?
I think yes. I think if I were Bethany, I'd be annoyed that Ramona didn't say, I have people coming, because I'm sure something else was set up, like another private chef or, you know, catering from the production company, like really fancy restaurant takeout from the production company set up. And then Ramona goes and just like flirts with somebody on the mountains, like, you have to come over and cook this and this and this for us.
And I think her angle's bad. I think it's that. It's not the fact that she was trying to be considerate and do this as like a nice gesture. I feel like there was something in it for her. And as we see him bring a $100 bottle of wine, she's like, this is a $100 bottle of wine. You need a special decanter for it.
Which is
she's
BS.
so extra.
Yeah. And also the fact that it is Bethany's trip, quote, Bethany's trip in Storyland. She didn't say really, we didn't get to see at least her saying, hey, Bethany, I've invited these restaurateurs over. They're going to make us an amazing meal of, you know, lamb or steak or whatever they were having.
And it looked great. And Bethany said it was very nice and very fancy.
We never
and
talk
lovely.
about the food on this show, but all the food that they eat, I'm just sitting there like,
mouth-watering.
Yeah, everything.
so
It's
good.
just, it must be so nice to just know
You're going to get a good meal.
The
Every
Bronx
single
Pizza
time.
place was the best meal I saw so far. It's so good, yeah.
Everything is just so delicious.
And we see Sonja and Ramona kind of getting ready, and they're talking with LuAnn about Mexico. And I'm not really a fan of Ramona's hair when she's doing it herself. I don't think she quite knows what she's doing on her own hair, let alone on Sonja's hair.
I called it like we were watching it. I love Britney Spears, but I feel like that was like Britney after the performance. Like after she's done with her shows, that's how messy her hair can get. But that was the look that Sonja was going, or Ramona was giving Sonja. That was not.
I mean,
not good.
Did Sonja's hair look any better by dinner? I felt like it didn't look as horrible
No,
at
I felt
the
like
dinner
it was
table.
worse.
It
at
was
dinner.
worse. Okay.
It's like, what is this wig helmet thing that sticks
It
out
was
here?
giving me major 70s to 80s crossover vibes, like in the years
Little
at the
static.
end of the 70s to early 80s.
It was
vibes.
just a little bit. It was frizzy in areas, and Sonja's hair
always
always
looks beautiful.
Yeah,
looks great
especially in
and
her
perfectly like
confessional.
coiffed, and I love her hair. So the fact that she must have been drunk.
Why wouldn't she have exactly? Why wouldn't she have Tinsley curl her? Even though Tinsley's curls are a little out of date, they're beautiful.
Yeah, she's got the braid going
And Ramona's
on.
hair looked like a nightmare too.
No, and in next week's episode when she's talking with
looks
Bethany, I was
horrible.
like,
I know,
she did her own hair
did
again.
it
She doesn't
again.
have her hair or makeup team with her.
I saw the way she was twirling her hair on that
Curling it.
twirling Sonja's hair. She's twirling it wrong.
Yes.
It's like she's doing it completely upside down.
Yes, that's why it looks so weird
Horrible,
because it's not falling. It's like
Yes.
I don't know how
You're
to explain
supposed to wrap it going in a downward fashion.
so that when you pull it out, it
Yes.
just
And I saw her wrapping it upward.
yeah.
I can't.
No. Okay. They are talking about Mexico though, and I think Ramona's a little mad that, you know, Bethany's not inviting her herself. It's more of a you can come with LuAnn type of situation, but we're gonna see all that go down next week, obviously, so we can get a little bit more on that later. We don't really need to discuss the fact that Tinsley is definitely drunk and talking about her shopping and how she doesn't really spend a whole lot of money, but yet 5, 6, 7, 8, you know, or less. And she's got all these different dresses, and they're like, well, this is a day drinker. She's a professional shopper and day drinker.
I'm really excited that
Thank you.
I'm actually really excited we're going to go to Mexico because this is now we're in the dead center of Real Housewives because, you know, we're going on a tropical vacation and I think nothing's going to be greater than Scary Island. Like, that's going to be so hard to top. But it's nice to see when they're, like, on their trips. You never know what's going to happen on this one.
Well, let's talk a little bit about the Truth or Dare dinner. We'll get through this quickly in the next 10 minutes. So the first question gets asked, has anyone had anal sex? And Tinsley pipes up right away and says that she has with her husband, and why should anything be wrong with it because she's had it with her husband. And meanwhile, Dorinda is completely anti this. She says it's actually
Super
unacceptable
judgmental.
behavior.
Unacceptable behavior. I think you're seeing a divide between generations when they're speaking on this, because I think that Tinsley's agent under have tried it with a trusted partner, and it's not that big of a deal because it's just something that is more out there and more talked about with like the generation that was brought up on MTV, like us. And Dorinda is like, oh, no, unacceptable behavior. Like, I think she probably was, her generation, maybe if that was talked about at all, it was talked about as like really deviant behavior that people shouldn't engage
big no-no.
in.
Or people that, you know.
That's an out hole. That is not, good people wouldn't go
not
there.
enter.
Yeah.
And meant for the gay side, that's how they do it. So it would be weird for a man and woman
saved
to be
herself
doing
right
it.
there when she did save between a man and a woman. But
Yes.
yeah, I agree with what you're saying too. It's a generation thing.
I think so.
It's just totally an age
Yeah.
thing. And then Bethany dares Sonja to French kiss a chef. She actually goes to kiss the waiter who denies her.
Who knew if he was even married, you know?
Yeah.
Jeez.
Well, good for him that's on camera that he denied her if he is married. God bless him.
And then kind of saves it by going, yeah, it was great, and just trying to make light of it so that she doesn't feel necessarily awkward either, because that could just...
I'm sure after that moment, it was pretty awkward. She
That
probably
poor
had
guy.
a couple drinks of glasses of wine after that.
And then we bring out a cucumber to measure the size of John's penis. And we start talking about all the other penises, and Tinsley mentions that her husband's penis was bigger than the one that Dorinda had shown, and that's when somebody pipes in and goes, well, that's why it hurt when you cried during anal sex. And I can't believe
Bethany.
I can't even believe I'm talking about this right now. I feel awkward talking about it.
I'm good with it. Feel free.
And I think the part that we all were very interested to hear about was Carole's.
We went back and watched it
Just
two
to make
more
sure.
times just to get it right.
Yeah, she has had sex with George Clooney.
I
Look
can't.
at her and
So,
her list of people.
After ER, pre-Danny Ocean, so before Ocean's 11, she had sex with him and it was a 9.
I have to admit I haven't read her second book, and I'm wondering, which is fiction. So I'm wondering if things are thrown in that maybe really happened in her life and names have been changed to, protect the innocent. And maybe that's in there. I'll have to contact Fern, our beloved Fern.
Yes,
She
Miss
has
Fern.
read it and loves Carole, so maybe she knows.
And thoughts on Ramona's number being 3 people since Mario, but she has given oral and she doesn't count that as sex.
I'm wondering if it's a little high. The fact that they all burst out laughing, they were like, ha ha, you're a liar. I don't know.
I kind of believe her.
Maybe I think maybe
I
she
think
is a bit
she's-
of a prude when it comes
I think
to
she's
that.
probably only had 3.
I think she
think
likes
it's
to be
3.
chased.
The
She
other
is 60.
number. The other number, however, I don't know
Sounds
what
like
that
it's
number.
quite a few more.
Can you imagine, like, when I'm thinking about a
100
60-year-old giving oral sex freely on the Upper East Side, she looks
go
so,
for it.
She looks so amazing for her age, and her spirit is young. But
Super
it's just,
young.
if you wrap your mind around the fact that she is 60 and she's talking about, well, yeah, I'm giving oral sex, but I'm not going to count it. It's like, what am I watching?
Can you just imagine Avery watching this right now and
Poor
going, oh,
She probably
Avery.
just tunes out these moments.
Oh,
Just like, oh, it's
Mom.
happening. Fast forward.
Well,
Yeah.
if I have kids, so Ramona didn't have Avery until I think she was like 40 years old, which probably I will be too if I, God willing, if I can get a child out of this body somehow. So it's like, God forbid I say something so embarrassing when my kid's like 21 and graduating college.
it'll happen.
I'm sure.
Yeah, it's
Hopefully it's not about being single and giving oral sex.
Well, LuAnn pipes in and says, oh, I'm so glad I'm married. And I could see how this could set off the other, women, especially Dorinda, who has been in this now long-term relationship with John for a few years. And even Carole, who's been with Adam for a couple years at this point. Just because you are 60 doesn't mean you can't go and have fun, and that you don't have the ups and downs that 20-year-olds do or 40-year-olds do, or whatever your age is. And Bethany kind of comes to her rescue and says, she had a rough time. Her and Tom had a rough start. And now they're in this honeymoon phase. Let them have this moment.
Look at Bethany,
And
man.
kind
I know,
of jumping
I'm
to the
shocked.
rescue. And Dorinda actually shooting her down, saying, I've been your cheerleader this whole time. You're kind of insulting all of us here that are trying to navigate this, get settled down, figure our stuff out. I do see both sides.
I do too.
Going back to what you were saying, I feel like with because of the fact that LuAnn doesn't really have too much going on, this was an opportunity. I don't know how much calculated this was, but she knows that she's not giving too much on this season. So if that was a moment to drop something to get Dorinda's attention and get a conversation going, then A+ for LuAnn, because it kind of felt a little forced and it kind of revved up everybody, but who knows?
Well, she's so gloaty and fake about this whole I just got married thing. And none of the other women care. They're like, fine, you drug him down the aisle. Good for you. Now you're stuck with him and we're going to have to hear about the next Regency disaster is in their mindset. So the fact that she's so fake and gloaty about like, I got married, they're like, we know. And Dorinda, I think, is following up with that third celebration for the marriage where they all were at that very empty little tiny basement level room. Yeah. She's like, enough with the celebrating. Like, she's like, I've had to, you know, been drugged through all of the celebrations. Like, it's time. The wedding is now over. So now the celebrations are over. So the fact that LuAnn wants to carry on in this, well, now it's my honeymoon phase. So everybody talk about my honeymoon phase and be happy for me. I think that's where Dorinda's coming from. But she was having a hard time getting that out because she's in slurry drunk mode at this point.
Were you guys surprised that Sonja jumped in with something snarky to end the conversation?
Not at all. The retoast. When she retoasted after Carole
does this, just nice.
She not only insulted LuAnn, she insulted Carole. She goes, "You're a writer. Couldn't you think of anything more original?" I'm like, jeez.
Shady table. Those dinners are the best, though.
I know. You know what I love about Carole? She will let a lot roll off her back, and if she's gonna speak back to what you've said, an insult to her, she's never in an enraged mode. Like, I don't know how she keeps so chill.
Partly because she doesn't drink a whole lot, and she always admits that.
Yeah.
She keeps her alcohol intake very, you know, low compared to the other women, so it's much easier for her to, you know,
process her thoughts.
Yes, and come back with something intelligent to say. And I think she is a very intelligent woman, just in general, and well spoken. We've met Carole. She is lovely. Megan, did you have any news for us, or should we get into some predictions?
Just one quick note. Runner's World did a fabulous interview with Carole about her training to run the New York City Marathon. Amazing. So she did this interview while at the Dog Pound, which is her local gym near her apartment that she trains at. And she's, you know, working her way up to being able to run 26 miles. So good for her. She's like, I'm kind of addicted to it now. Like, I never had to exercise my whole life, and I'm eating much healthier. She's like, you know, junk food never took a toll on my body. I realize it does take a toll on me internally. It just wasn't showing up externally. She's like, so now I'm conscious about what I'm eating. I'm feeling great. I'm missing it when I'm not exercising. So good for her, Carole. We wish you all the luck. It's going to benefit the North Shore Animal Shelter when she does run it.
Good.
So,
that's amazing.
Yeah.
Yay, Carole.
That's where she got her kitties from.
Well, baby, and baby. Let's talk a little bit. We'll go through some predictions before we get into the show.
AfterBuzz TV predictions.
They don't head to Mexico just yet, but there is discussions about Mexico. Sonja's getting lasered/waxed and ready to go. Carole actually sets Tinsley up on a date in which she makes out with the guy right there in front of Adam and Carole, this double date, and Tinsley likes to kiss. I like to kiss too. So, and then we get Bethany inviting Ramona, and Ramona just shooting it down with this negativity. Tell me what you guys are predicting for next week.
I'm predicting Bethany is gonna soften up, and I think that they're gonna somehow make up. I feel like they're going to. You know, I think Bethany knows how Ramona plays the game, and so I feel like you see in Bethany's reaction, she's not going to bark this time. She's barked several times. This time, I don't think she's going to bark back.
Okay.
I think it's going to end much like the Berkshires argument where Bethany just sits there and nods and half smiles while Ramona has a freak out, and she'll be like, okay, great, all right, whatever, and just walk out of it very cool as a cucumber while Ramona looks like the fool.
I agree with you, Megan. I think that's what's going to happen. I do think that Bethany is going to say, well, if you want to come to Mexico, you have been invited. So she still, like you said, keeps the cool, keeps the peace, and she looks like the winner at the end of the day compared to Ramona freaking out. All right, where can everyone find you guys? Till next week.
You guys can contact me on my social media. It's all at Megan Stecher. Tweet me. Love talking with you guys during the week. It's at Megan Stecher, MEGANSTECHER.
Hey guys, I've spent the last few months putting this together. It's my baby. I feel like I'm getting married tomorrow. Actually, I'm sorry, 2 days, Friday, 7/7. So tune in Friday. It's called Your Time with Thomas. I'm going to be going through Los Angeles. We'll be talking about fun topics. Check me out and subscribe, please. Your Time with Thomas.
And this is Lyndsey here. You guys make sure you subscribe to Thomas's YouTube channel. Megan, you have a YouTube channel too, don't you?
I don't post on it right now.
Well, then you tweet her instead and tell her to start a YouTube channel.
Yeah.
You guys can find me on all things social media at Lyndsey Wegner. That's LYNDSEYWEGNER. Or my blog, lyndseywegner.blogspot.com. Send Ashley some love. She'll be back from Boston next week, and we'll see you guys soon.
Bye, guys.
From executive producers Maria Menounos, Kevin Undergaro, Phil Svitek, and the entire AfterBuzz TV staff, we would like to thank you for listening to the AfterBuzz TV network. To watch or listen to other after shows and post comments or questions, be sure to visit AfterBuzzTV.com. I'm Sir Richard Wentworth, and this has been a presentation of AfterBuzz TV.
Buzz you later.
The views expressed herein are those of the hosts only and do not necessarily reflect the views of AfterBuzz TV or its owners or principals.